Hey, all you monkeys and balls.
We're back again
With a new episode of the MONKAST here, and today we're about to do a deep dive into the darkest corners of the Monkey Ball franchise in ways that you've never seen. You're familiar with the concept of an iceberg, right?
That's right. It's sort of, people will make images showing an iceberg split into layers going deeper and deeper under the water. Each of those having facts that get more and more obscure, right?
And actually what I was thinking about was like what killed the Titanic. I didn't know about that thing.
No, that was the dinosaurs, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Iceberg.
Yeah. I think Monkey Ball 2's story covered that subplot. But anyway, there's this image for Monkey Ball that's been floating around, and I actually contributed to some of this. It's a collection of obscure knowledge and apocrypha revolving around the Monkey Ball franchise. It covers every game, I believe. Everything's fair game. Every spin-off and every other piece of Monkey Ball media can be covered here. But the general consensus is, or the general way that this works, is that we start at the top for like the strange sort of facts that, yeah, it's weird, but maybe everybody knows it, honestly. And then you get lower and lower and lower into the depths, and it's things that like you've never heard of.
I took a look at some of these earlier, and even towards the top, there were things I'd never heard of.
Yeah, which just speaks to like how strange and wonderful the Monkey Ball compendium of lore can be. So we're going to go through this entry by entry, and we're going to discuss each one. I'll see what I know. I can probably share some knowledge about most of these to an extent.
And I'm going to be here playing the role of the guy who doesn't know crap and goes, what?
Yeah, but I'm sure there's stuff here that you've heard of.
Of course, there are a few things.
There's going to be stuff that you've heard of, and I'm actually really interested to hear what of this is familiar to you. So this is the Monkey Ball Iceberg, and without any further ado, we're going to start at the top here. So we got Master Mode. I mean, you know about Master Mode, right? Everybody knows about that.
That's right.
Yeah, Master Mode. I suppose, like, if you didn't know anything about anything and you just booted up a copy of Monkey Ball, you'd be like, Master Mode? Where's Master Mode? Because it doesn't show up until you unlock it, and there's really no indication that it exists. So, like, maybe that's why it's, like, deep lore of some kind, but, like, everybody knows. The cat's out of the bag. It's like the end of, like, frickin' Citizen Kane. Like, oh, it was his sled. Everybody knows it. Unplayable tutorial stage. So I think both of these games feature an unplayable tutorial stage, 1 and 2, right?
That would actually be news to me. This is one that I did not know about.
You didn't know about that? So in Monkey Ball, if you like linger on the title screen and do nothing for a while, you get a gameplay demo, and it starts kind of guiding you through the basics of Monkey Ball. And it has this stage that it's playing through, and it's a stage that's not in any other mode in the game. It's just sort of a weird testing ground stage, I guess. But like, they built this stage just for the tutorial. You can't play it. That's the weird thing about it.
Yeah, so I suppose there are ways to like mod it in so that you can play on that stage.
Yeah, people have done that. People have actually played the tutorial stage.
I'm sure it's very hard.
It's impossible. Nobody ever beat it. Anyway, we move on to hidden AV logos. So you know about these for sure.
Now tell me about AV.
AV stands for Amusement Vision, and this was, I believe, the game company responsible for developing Monkey Ball. It is owned by Sega, the propriety of Sega, I suppose, but they had their own little thing. They had their own little logo, and they had their little jingle that went with it, and they were very recognizable logo-wise. I think they also developed F-Zero GX, and they run in the same engine, Monkey Ball 2 and F-Zero GX.
I did hear that.
Yeah, so AV logo, it's essentially this round logo with an A and a V in it, but that logo is hidden all over Monkey Ball, like every which way you can look. It's like the hidden Mickeys in Disney parks. Their version of hidden Mickeys was hidden AV logos, and some of my favorite hidden AV logos were on the bottom of the giant sort of floating city in the second, like the sky world in Monkey Ball 1. There's this like cylindrical or pyramidal kind of floating colony thing. And you can't see this at all in the game. But if you go into the game files and you turn that model upside down, the bottom of it's round, and the entire thing is an AV logo.
Those sly devils.
It was hidden where no one could see it. But one of my other favorites aesthetically is in the background of the bubbly washing machine world, there's like a rock garden, like one of those Zen gardens that you sort of rake the pebbles into the like rows with. And they did that in the shape of the AV logo, which I think looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the idea behind that. Debug stages. There's a lot of debug stages in Monkey Ball, and some of them are pretty strange. Have you ever seen footage of these?
No.
Debug stages, I'll try and think of some off the top of my head. One weird thing about debug stages, or just about the game in general, that debug stages were able to reveal, is that the default model for a Switch in Monkey Ball 2 is the A button on your GameCube. Like, it's just a copy of the A button. And you have to actually manually insert a Switch model into the files for a level for it to look right. Otherwise, it just loads as an A button. And there are stages you can find in debug that have the A buttons in them.
Wow.
Some of the other debug stages have these sort of like posters right in front of you when you spawn, like these images that are sort of like cryptic notes from the developers, like hand sketched. That's always been kind of weird to me. And there are a bunch of them that I guess sort of serve as like hubs where you can run off in any direction and test a bunch of different physics things. But it's like 5 or 6 different stages will be within this bigger debug stage.
Where it's just like a massive playground for testing physics.
It is, yeah. Another strange debug stage that I remember exists is what a lot of people believe to be the scrapped hub world of Monkey Ball 2. Like, there could have been a hub world.
Ooh.
Like Monkey Ball Adventure before Monkey Ball Adventure. Anyway, Brian Matt.
Now, this is one I have heard of.
I think at this point, most people have heard of Brian Matt.
Yeah, there was an amazing video. I need to look up who it was that made that.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Brian Matt, though, I think there was definitely a time when nobody knew at all who this guy was or cared who he was or even understood his significance. But when this video came out and exposed who he was, I think it's common knowledge now, honestly. Like, if you're into Monkey Ball and you follow Monkey Ball and you want it to like be back to its glory days, you think about Brian Matt when you think about those glory days. He's the announcer. Strangely enough, there's been some weird Brian Matt like rumors and news over the years since he was kind of like brought on into the light. He's been kind of running his mouth in weird ways, and I don't want to like speak ill of him, but it seems like he told some pretty big lies.
Huh.
Like, there was supposed to be some game that he kept claiming existed called like Monkey Ball Retro or something, and the stuff he said about it and the things that he gave as details, it never came to fruition. Like, if that was Banana Rumble, it sure wasn't the game that he was talking about. So either like they told him to lie, like maybe it's a like don't talk about it kind of thing, or maybe he was just trying to like get some clout. I mean, who knows? And now that everybody's looking at you, like, he's gonna lie big and get all the spotlights on him. But who knows about this guy? He's an enigma. Now, this is an interesting one. ESRB violence. Have you ever noticed that?
I never paid attention to it, but I guess it's always been there.
Yeah, ESRB gave Monkey Ball violence. And for what?
I suppose there's a fair bit of animal cruelty.
Animal cruelty, yeah. That's probably it. And somebody must have seen this and thought, like, this is some animal cruelty, man. Why are they doing this? Why there's got to be a monkey in there? But you think about it, there's no, like, enemies that you defeat. There's no, like, anything. There's no weapons. You're just a monkey in a ball. Like Super Mario Sunshine, you're, like, killing things left and right. And even that probably just got, like, mischief or cartoon violence. And, like, Monkey Ball, it's not even cartoon violence. It's straight up violence, which is, like, what I guess, like, Call of Duty would get, right? Is there anything more extreme than, like, violence in the rating system?
Not that I know. I guess there's gore.
Yeah, maybe it would go to gore or like intense violence or like disembowelment, and who knows what all is in there. But Monkey Ball, for some reason, was deemed violent enough. Bouncing off skyboxes. Have you ever seen a video of this? You can bounce off a few of the skyboxes. They have collision.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that they did that. I don't know why they thought to do that, but I just think it's kind of cool. Time travel subplots. You know about that.
That I do with Baby.
Babies from the future. And to expound on the time travel nonsense, there's another thing in Monkey Ball Adventure where there's this character called like the Future Man or something like that. And he has this like square TV head, and he's apparently Ai from the future. So an extra bit of lore there about time travel. Like, why is there so much time travel stuff in the Monkey Ball universe?
Yeah, what's warranting this time travel? And why is Baby staying in the past?
Yeah, that's got to be all kinds of butterfly effect shenanigans. Like, what started the time travel? What necessitated it? And how has there been no, like, putting the kibosh on it? Because, like, they've got to be screwing up the timeline in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
If, like, those people from the Loki TV series appeared in Monkey Ball, they would be like, we got to clean this place up, man.
The whole world would be getting nuked.
Yeah.
Pruned.
All right, so we have actually completed the sky level. That's, like, the highest lore. Now, as we start descending from here, it's only going to get stranger. So are you ready?
That's right.
We're starting off here at the tip of the iceberg with storm statues. Now, you know the storm statues, right? You know what they look like. You got an idea of like those things, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever just wondered like what the hell are those supposed to be? Why are they here in a Monkey Ball game?
Kind of, yeah.
I only just recently learned this, but they are actually from a different game, a Sega arcade game called Slash Out.
That's where we're getting our violence from, huh?
Yeah, that's the only reason there's violence, ESRB, in this game. It's because there's ties to Slash Out. It's like...
Slash Out.
Is Slash Out just like the equivalent of Punch Out, but you have swords? I don't think it is, but what I believe Slash Out is like one of those sort of like hack and slash games, I guess, where you just kind of go your way through this sort of like arcade gauntlet type thing with swords and stuff. I've never seen much footage of it, but I saw enough to like pick out the monsters and say like, oh, that's what those are.
I'm picturing like in Wii Sports Resort where you'd have those fencing levels where you're going through and whacking everybody, but it's actual swords.
Pretty much like that. I think that's the idea there. But now you know. That's the storm statues.
Whoa.
So, GameCube logo perspective tricks on Nintendo. So, you know, like the final stage in Monkey Ball 2, Nintendo.
That's right.
The giant GameCube. And it had that sort of strange golden cage around it. Mm-hmm. Have you ever wondered, like, why that was there?
I never really questioned it.
You never questioned it? You know, I didn't either, honestly. I remember playing the game and just thinking like, okay, this kind of makes it look cool. It's there to look cool.
Yeah, it's the last level, you know?
I used to try and like land on it for fun. I remember I used to play Nintendo and I would try to like land on this cage thing and just see like what I could do when I was rolling around on it. But I didn't realize all this time that if you go to the pause menu and you start manipulating your camera, you can turn the whole level around and eventually you'll hit this magic point where it aligns and it creates the GameCube G around the GameCube.
Oh my god.
That's what it was there for. I didn't know that all these years. I love Easter eggs like that because they know most people aren't going to figure it out.
And they do it anyway.
They do it anyway because they're animals.
While we're on it, can we just say the GameCube logo is such a good design?
That's honestly one of the best designs for a video game console logo that I think there's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
GameCube is honestly a top-tier console. Maybe not appreciated enough in its day, but like, look at the amazing legacy that it has. So, on to the missing W. This is one of my favorites because it's so insignificant. But like, did you know in the keyboard, when you're typing in a name for your save file, there's no lowercase w?
I did not know that.
It's just not there. It's like omitted. And no one was able to use a lowercase w. And the only theory that I could possibly have for the omission of the lowercase w is that there's some ghost somewhere called Whoopless. And he doesn't want anyone to figure out what his name is.
Are we truly playing as I?
I don't think we are. It's Nameless Frank. Mall World Shadow Monkeys. I think that's referring to the like Burger Cube dancing silhouette monkeys.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah, Monkey Ball 1, they were all like dancing around, swinging their arms in the Burger Cube. Who are they? I guess that's the question. Who are they?
I guess they're just some monkeys having a good time.
They're having a good time, but like, have you ever been to a restaurant where all you did was just sit in booths by the window and swing your arms around? Like, can you imagine trying to order something and the waiter's right there, like, and you're just swinging your arms like, I will have a burger and fries?
No, but I did watch Home Alone.
Yeah, is that kind of like it? Yeah.
Where Kevin McAllister sets up these fake silhouettes to try and scare away the robbers.
That's true.
By making them think there's a party going on.
That's it. It's like Monkey Ball. So, Gon Gon's backstory. Interesting one again there.
That's right. Now, I believe Gon Gon used to be a pirate, right?
Gon Gon used to be a pirate? I didn't know that detail.
I think that's what it said in one of the loading cards for Banana Rumble's loading screens.
Banana Rumble like added some lore to Gon Gon?
Yeah, where he was part of a group of pirates and Ai's rival. I may have to fact check that.
Yeah, maybe fact check that, but I believe it. The backstory that I always heard for Gon Gon was literally just like he and Ai were massive rivals. They hated each other, and then suddenly they were best friends. So like, why? Why is this given to us as information when it's never expounded upon? We never see it. It doesn't affect anything. What? Why?
It's just Gon Gon, man.
Yeah. Is it just because he like looked tough, like they designed him and they were like, that guy looks like a bad guy, man. We need to give him some like thrilling backstory.
They needed the big brute.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to actually have a story in the game.
Here's another interesting little bit of information that I've heard is that when they were designing Monkey Ball for the arcade, it only had 3 monkeys in it. So there was Mimi, Ai, and Baby. There wasn't Gon Gon yet. And the reason there were 3 monkeys was because there were 3 modes. There was like beginner, advanced, and expert. And they're supposed to correspond. Like Baby is for the like, I'm Baby, I'm a beginner, I only play the easy stuff. Mimi is for the like intermediate, and Ai's the expert. Which, like, misogyny much? Were they really thinking, like, women can't play the expert levels, so, like, the girl monkey's just for, like, the middle? It's only above a Baby. On to Super Monkey Ball Mini. Super Monkey Ball Mini was a Flash game. This is an official piece of like online content in the earliest days of the internet meant to promote Monkey Ball, and it's terrible. It's like a 2-dimensional top down, you're just dragging like a monkey along like a plain green Flash shapes. Let me find a picture of it.
Yeah, I need to see this.
Yeah, it's real.
And while you look that up, I'm going to go check on my Switch for that pirate bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we need this fact.
Okay, I'm actually not finding anything about pirates. I think I dreamed that up.
Oh, no. Anyway.
We're going to have to edit that out.
Yeah. I found some nice images here of Super Monkey Ball Mini, just so you can see what that looks like. You want to get a load of this.
Oh, boy.
That's what it looked like. Can you imagine playing that and having fun?
Kind of, maybe.
I mean, if you didn't know any better, it's like the early days of the internet. There's not like amazing things to do or play.
If it were my first Monkey Ball.
Yeah, it's something you would like have fun with for an hour or so, just to like kill some time. But that's Monkey Ball Mini, and now you know. So now we go to Jamad's Braille message.
Now, I'm absolutely clueless on this
You're
one.
clueless about this one? You really don't know?
Or is the Braille level?
Yeah, there's the Braille level, yeah.
Oh my god, I just remembered that.
Yeah, it's like World 1-3.
Yeah, where it's literally just called Braille.
I think it's called Bumpy. Like it wasn't obvious, but if you looked at the bumps, it was Braille. And it like once you see it, you never unsee it. But I remember like as a kid not seeing anything and just like you roll through that level so fast, you don't even like go anywhere or explore. So like, why would you see anything?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I learned that it was Braille and there was a hidden message, I was like, okay, that's brilliant.
Do we know what this message is?
I think, yeah, it is known what the message is, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I think it's literally just something like, hey, you found my hidden Braille message, or something to that effect. Let's see, Monkey Ball Braille. Yeah, the message was, hi, this is Jamad. That's right, Braille alphabet. I respect you. And it goes on to say that Jamad is a nickname for Junichi Yamada, who is the game's stage design director. So that's the Braille message. I was thinking, like, if they would put a Braille message in this game, it should be something more interesting than that. It should be some, like, a secret, like, treasure map or something. Imagine if it were, like, go to the far back corner of, like, World 7, 9, or, like, whatever level, and there's, like, a hidden, like, AV logo or something.
You'll get warped. Like you get, Super Mario 64.
Yeah, you just dissolve and then you reappear like in like Monkey Ball 1. Imagine if that were like the original Monkey Ball Deluxe. Like it's just Monkey Ball 2, but you can warp your way into Monkey Ball 1 and just play all of it.
Oh my god.
That's what I would do.
But isn't it enough just to be respected?
Yeah, I mean, he does respect you, so. Now we're on to the shallow waters.
We're finally getting our toes wet.
We're getting our toes wet here, and we're starting with Bad Boon's voice messages, are English in reverse.
This is something I'd heard before.
Yeah, and I think people have actually, like, reversed them so you can listen to what he's saying, and he's pretty much literally just reading his lines.
Wow.
Which is awkward. Like, something about that's just not right.
In a world where everyone else is saying ookie, 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 this, like, haunting voice coming out of Bad Boon.
Yeah.
Kind of creeped me out as a kid.
By the way, major disappointment in Banana Rumble. Bad Boon, you can play as him, but he doesn't have that voice. He kind of just screeches. He needed that voice. Now, the unused cave background. I think what this refers to is there was supposed to be, or who knows if there was supposed to be, or it was just like extra content. But in the debug files of Monkey Ball 1, you can find this cave background, this sort of like blue cave that almost looks like the underground levels in like New Super Mario Brothers. That kind of vibe. I don't know what was planned for it, if it was going to be like a world theme or something for a mini game. Nobody knows, I guess, but it's there and you can speculate on it.
Have any mods made use of it?
I don't think so, actually, but I'd love to see that. I'd love to see somebody actually like use that and make up a theme to go with it.
Yeah.
Here's something familiar. Human monkey rating. We were talking about this in the last episode.
That's right.
The credits game, you can get all the way up in primate points or whatever, and the highest rank there is human.
And I'm not convinced it's possible to actually reach that.
Yeah, I mean, you kept trying to get it, like playing the game over and over and over again recently, right?
That's right. I save stated for the credits. I went through the whole thing, got as many bananas as I could, didn't hit a single letter, and I believe I received Yellow Baboon.
Yeah, so that's like probably the highest possible ranking. I don't know what you'd have to do to get human or like anything above that baboon.
Because human's not even the next one up, right? There's also chimpanzee.
Yeah, there's like chimp and bonobo and like gorilla and then human, I think. And
right.
So like how? I want to see. Has anyone ever gotten the human ranking?
Yeah, has anyone made a task for the Monkey Ball credits?
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Okay, this is an amusing one. I won't even like do anything but tell the story here, but there's an entry for softcore porn DLC levels. And what this refers to is Monkey Ball Banana Splits on the PS Vita had this strange Japan-only DLC that was all a tie-in with this like model from Japan who would like pose in bikinis and stuff, and her pictures were just all over these levels. So like, who was this trying to like market to? It's just creepy kind of weirdness that's strange to think like that exists in Monkey Ball games. You like rolled over sort of like a molded image of her body in some of these, which is like, why? Who was this for?
That's a great question. Next.
Why wasn't this in America? Next, The Utah Teapot. So the Utah Teapot, of course, refers to the stage that's just called Teapot in Monkey Ball 2, like the final advanced extra, I think. That teapot model has some significance. There is a thing called the Utah Teapot. And I remember learning about this when I was first learning about 3D modeling for Monkey Ball purposes, by the way. And the Utah Teapot, I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this.
Yeah, here it is. It's like a 3D model that's kind of foundational to a lot of things, and it appears in a lot of places, like Pixar movies have it. I think they're using the Utah Teapot in Toy Story when like Bo Peep is having her tea party. But it's a very famous 3D model that kind of just appears all over the place.
That makes sense.
Here's a fun one. Endless upward travel on Chaser goals. So Chaser was that level that looked like the musical Clef, and you're chasing the goals that are like on the skis.
The one where everybody just jumps down to the bottom and waits for the red goal to come to them, right?
Yeah, literally that one. But you know what else you can do in that stage is you can wait for one of the goals, you can get onto the ski and not go in the goal. And then as it goes off of the track and starts rising into the sky, you can just ride it infinitely into the heavens.
All the way until time runs out.
Yeah, pretty much. And there used to be this great video on YouTube called I Getting High, I think. And it was just somebody doing that and seeing how long they could possibly ride that thing into the air. I think they turned off the time limit debug style and just let it go. But that was great. That was like some classic content right there. I wonder if that video's still up. So here's kind of a can of worms. Deluxe's unique stages come from canceled SMB3. Did you know about this?
I might have heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's something a lot of people suspected long before it was ever found any evidence for. But Monkey Ball Deluxe had these unique stages to go with the ones from Monkey Ball 1 and Monkey Ball 2, like extras almost. And for years I just swore they're just like something brand new. Like they made some new stuff to make the game even bigger. Apparently, they're the remnants of a third Monkey Ball game they were making and then they scrapped.
Wow.
Which blows my mind. Like, if I had learned as a kid that there was going to be Monkey Ball 3 and then they scrapped it to make Banana Blitz instead, I would feel like I was in the wrong timeline, man.
I'd be heartbroken.
Yeah, what happened to us for us to deserve that? Like, imagine if we'd lived in that world and timeline had gone on that way and Monkey Ball just never had a fall from grace.
They just kept making them. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, if they kept making them and they're always that good.
I wonder why they canceled this then.
Yeah, nobody knows. I always wanted to know this story. Like, if I could be a super backyardigans detective like that guy who figured out all the Brian Matt stuff, that's what I would devote my life's work to. I would find people who worked on it. I would find who built these stages, what were they for, what was the game going to be like. I want to know, because there had to have been a drawing board or something. There's more information about this that we're just not going to find, and that irritates me. We do know what it would have been called though, which is interesting. It would have been called Banana Crazy, which is so close to Banana Blitz.
And Banana Mania.
And Banana Mania, yeah. So that would have started the banana trend. Now every Monkey Ball game has to have the word banana in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it would have started.
Wow.
All right, so that's the shallow water. We're going a little deeper now. Dozens of empty flat stages in debug. Explains itself, I guess.
Yeah.
They're kind of just placeholders, right? I guess. But there's a lot of extra slots. So I think some hacks have taken advantage of that. They've added more stages in, I believe, and that's what they're replacing. Super blocky mode. I actually know what this is, and I feel like some kind of loser for knowing. So Monkey Ball Jr. was a game on the GBA. It was a very poor attempt to recreate Super Monkey Ball, the first game, in whatever kind of engine it took to create a 3D game in the GBA. And it had these kind of things. And this actually ties into the next entry, which is Super Nice Try. These are actually both things you could do on the title screen of that game, where if you input a code, a combination of buttons and letters, you would get something called Super Blocky Mode, which basically just pixelized the entire game beyond recognition. It just put some kind of like horrible filter over it that pixelized everything. So like, why? I don't know.
Maybe it's easier on the GVA that way.
And then Super Nice Try is literally just if you try to do the Konami code. They actually thought someone would do that, and they put it in. They put something that would happen if you did.
That makes me want to try it in Banana Rumble.
I wonder if it exists. Arcade hard mode. That's for the arcade console, I guess. And I think what this was is if you put in some kind of code, and maybe this wasn't even like implemented in the actual game, or who knows. I don't know much about this. I've only heard a little. But you know how Monkey Ball 1 had like a few stages that were the harder version of the stage?
Yeah.
I think what it would do is just replace all the early game versions of that with the harder version from later on. And that was hard mode. But it's very like half implemented apparently, and
or it's really just a couple extra bumpers on some stages.
Yeah, or like the paths are thinner, it's a little bigger, a little redesigned. It's like all the Big Brother stages come in and replace the Little Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting idea, but strange execution. Da Lu Ma meaning. So, Da Lu Ma was the hammer stage. You remember that stage in Monkey Ball 1? The one with the hammer that's knocking all the blocks away?
Yeah.
The name for that stage was Da Lu Ma, and that's what it was spelled like in Deluxe. It was spelled like that. Nobody knew what the hell it meant or why it was called that. And somebody eventually figured out what it was. It's just an effect of us being stupid Westerners playing a Japanese game.
Yeah, that makes me think of Daruma. Is that what it is?
That's what it is. It's Daruma, which is like a little Japanese hammer gang, I think. That's what it's supposed to be referencing. And it was somehow like anglicized into Da Lu Ma, which doesn't sound right. It just sounds like nonsense.
Makes it sound like some kind of chant.
Yeah, Da Lu Ma. Speaking of which, the next entry is the Chanting Flash Game. There was a Chanting Flash Game that came out with Super Monkey Ball Adventure, and it was literally kind of just like DDR, I'm pretty sure. If you can still play this somewhere, it would blow my mind.
So it's just all about doing the monkey magical spells?
Yeah, and then like the arrows would come up on your screen. It's just a rhythm game, essentially, I think. That's what I remember. I played it. I got my hands on everything Monkey Ball related, so I played this.
Sounds like it'd be fun.
Yeah, and now I don't have any proof of this, but apparently Bad Boon's name is Hee Hee.
There's my amazing Michael Jackson impression.
Yeah, I don't know who figured this out or how this can be proven. Maybe it's just like in game files or something. But I swear I've heard people talking about this, so it's got to be legit somehow. That's his actual name, Hee Hee. All right, we're going a little deeper now. No footage of iToy levels. Huh? This is a strange one. And what I think this is talking about is, do you know about the iToy, like the PlayStation camera add-on thing?
No.
One of the, I guess it was the PlayStation 2. Maybe it was the PS3. I didn't own either, so I don't know. But there was this little camera doodad that they sold with some of this stuff called the iToy. And some games they put out had like camera functionality where you just kind of put it up like a webcam and it would look at you and take your picture. Kind of like the Kinect, I guess. Yeah, prototype to that.
Yeah.
But it had some Kinect-esque functions where you'd put your arms out and it would track your motion. And there was this like Sega All-Stars type game. I don't even know what it was called, but it was like a game collection that had some like Sonic games and Monkey Ball games. And one of the modes was Monkey Ball. And you could play these sort of exclusive levels in it that were designed for you to like flap your arms around, and it controlled like awful nonsense probably. But the thing about it is, if you Google this, there's like no footage of it. You can't find anyone playing this anywhere, which I don't know if that's an effect of it being not popular or not good, or just nobody had this game, or if like it's a cover-up. Something is up about the iToy levels. I don't know what they look like. I've never seen people playing them.
There's something hidden in those levels, man.
They didn't want you to know what was in those levels. Passage was originally called Penetration. Did you know that?
No.
One of the master mode levels in Monkey Ball 2 was called Passage, and the original name was Penetration, believe it or not. And somebody caught that. A bit of a Freudian thing going on with that stage anyway, so good that they were paying attention.
Kudos to the localization team.
Yeah. Now, is that the only stage that had a different name originally? That I think it's the only one where the name was ever changed. If you don't count the ones where like somehow the names have been swapped. I don't think this is on this iceberg, but this is another weird piece of information.
Yeah, tell us about it.
So in Monkey Ball Deluxe, there are 2 stages that the names seem to have been swapped. There's no evidence that this actually happened, but like everyone that you point this out to will agree that's probably what happened. And the stages, I believe, were Rising Inclines and Tub. In 2, it was originally Slopes. Like the World 1 level where you go up all the slopes was just called Slopes. And they changed the name to Tub. Why? I don't know. Until you get to the bonus stage that actually looks like a tub, and it's called Rising Inclines. So, like, there's been some tomfoolery behind the scenes. Why is the one that looks like a tub not called Tub, and why is the one where you go up the Rising Inclines not called Rising Inclines?
Yeah, I think you're on to something there.
I think that's what happened. Now, speaking of Monkey Ball 2, the technology demo, I think what this is, and man, I'm not confident about this one, is there was some like E3 or Space World or whatever where like conventions were happening back in those days. Before Monkey Ball 2 came out, they put out something called the technology demo for people to play at conventions. I think that's what it is, but that's just me spitballing. And there was apparently some stuff in it that was different or strange. I'm going to Google it and see if there's any evidence of what was in there.
Yeah, maybe they were playing some of the debug stages in there.
Maybe.
But typically a tech demo, yeah, it just lets people get a feel of the game.
There's something on the Internet Archive for the Super Monkey Ball 2 E3 demo. It's a promotional video for Super Monkey Ball 2 for the Nintendo GameCube, taken from the old AV website. Let's watch this. Let's see what it says, if there's any like revelations to be had here. This fall, a hero returns. Look at this. It's like it was made in Windows Movie Maker.
It's all in black and white.
Yeah, they're trying to make it feel so cinematic. Yeah, you can see some strange, like, there's no level names. There's some levels that are, like, in the wrong worlds. I guess that's what's strange about it. Like, it was clearly just still in development and things were different.
Yeah.
And then you had that logo that I don't think appears anywhere else, where the balls are kind of, like, around the big 2.
I kind of like
circle.
it.
Yeah, that was like the original logo design, and they never actually used that anywhere. Super Monkey Ball 2. That's the technology demo.
The more you know.
The more you know. Did you know about Memes Castle?
Not Mimi, but meme.
Yeah, it's literally Memes Castle. Apparently, if you go to the amusement park world in Monkey Ball 2 and you look through the background, like with a fine-tooth comb, in debug mode, you can find one little tile where, like, in plain Times New Roman font, it just says Memes Castle.
Now I wonder, do you think that was a localization thing?
Why would it be? Because, like, you're not going to see it anywhere. But in Japan, maybe, like, there's no differentiation between how they spell Mimi and, like, how they spell meme.
Right.
Baby's name is II Jr. Do you buy that?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll buy that for $1. But evidence? Schmevidence. Mm-hmm. Invisible hamster wheel stage. This is something I've seen before. So you can find this debug stage that was going to be in the game, I guess, but just wasn't. And people have, like, unveiled the model, and it looks like this sort of cartwheel or hamster wheel that you just kind of let roll around, and you got to dodge some pegs. But it's invisible. If you find it in the debug stage, you can't see it. It's like you got to just play it by feel.
Wow.
So I don't know why it's invisible in there. Like, they were trying to hide it, I guess, but you can still play it. The collision's there. So Master was supposed to have 100 stages. Interesting detail there. I think that's like a screenshot someone found where it had like 100 on the Master Mode logo. Can you imagine that?
That'd be so much pain.
Yeah. And would they all have been like the level of difficulty that Master actually was?
I am going to say no.
I would think not. Like, it's got to start somewhat easier. I mean, I can't tell if like they were planning for it to be like the ultimate mode, or just play every stage and then master stuff, but like imagine 100 unique stages that are all master difficulty. And that, my friends, is what we call Monkey Ball Gaiden. It's a real ROM hack that does kind of pretty much do that. So like you can imagine.
Dear.
Yeah. The Wormhole Goal Hybrid, I'm pretty sure, was just like a beta version of the Goal for Monkey Ball 2, where they thought about redesigning it to make it look kind of like the Wormhole, where it's like the round goal shape, but the part that you actually go in where the party ball would be hanging out, it looks like the Wormhole with like the little caution sign on it and everything. And I think there's a model for that in the game files. That's all that is. Interesting thing that never was.
Yep.
Monkey Ball 2 demo disc must have been the same thing as the tech demo. I think that's what it is, where just some of the stages are in some different worlds. Monkey Ball 2 used in surgical procedures.
Surprisingly, I've heard of this one.
You've heard of that one?
That they would use it to train doctors to like have precise hands.
Yeah, they would actually use this in some like surgery rooms where like they're warming up for laparoscopic surgery, and before they touch any scalpels, they just have to play exam C.
And you know what? I kind of believe it.
Yeah.
Like if I watched a doctor or anyone really just make it all the way through like Monkey Ball 1 straight through the master stages without getting a game over, yeah, I'd let them do a heart transplant on me.
Yeah, I trust that person's hands. You got that fine control.
They are not going to make a mistake.
Dead civilizations inside the whale. I mean, I guess that's just referring to like the cities in the background that somehow got swallowed by the whale. But like, interesting theory now that we have Banana Rumble. You play like the Atlantis world in Banana Rumble. Oceanus, yeah. And you see some stuff in the background. This is sort of like cities in bubbles that look kind of like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if the whale just ate part of Oceanus and we're kind of just now getting the connection over all these years?
That would be a wild callback for them to make.
Yeah, and you can almost kind of believe it. I's Funhouse. Now, I had to look this one up earlier, but I do know what it is. I's Funhouse. I think it's for some kind of crappy phone. It's another like shovelware monkey ball game. I's Funhouse. I'm looking it up. Yeah, I's Funhouse, Super Monkey Ball Wiki. It's a mobile game released for J2ME compatible devices in 2003. It consists of 2 mini-games, Whack-A-Monkey and Monkey See, Monkey Do, and features II without his monkey ball. Look at these screenshots. Does that make you want to play it?
Oh, yeah. It looks like Hotel Mario.
Yeah, thrilling gameplay. Oh, and read this official summary. They make it sound so, like, thrilling. Ladies and gentlemen, step right up. In II's Funhouse, Sega's most popular primate is your ringleader through 2 Monkey Ball-inspired games.
Wow, 2 whole games.
Thrill to the pulse-pounding incitement of Whack-A-Monkey, where your reflexes will be pushed to their very limits. Chill to the brain-bending mayhem of Monkey See, Monkey Do, a memory game not for the weak of mind. Behold, as your high scores rise to dizzying heights, take a chance and try your luck in the one place where everyone's a winner, II's Funhouse.
Wow, I want to go there.
Yeah, don't you want to go there? What poor copywriter did they hire to put that out there about like the crappiest mobile game you've ever seen?
It does. It sounds like a circus ringmaster trying to sell you on each of the acts that you see there.
Yeah, I'm picturing like Danny DeVito and Big Fish, like trying to like sell people Monkey Ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's II's Funhouse. Did you know that Soldier 76 is baby grown up?
Soldier 76. Now, is that the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, man, yeah. I mean, you look up a picture of him and...
Yep, that's the Overwatch character.
Yeah, he's baby grown up. I mean, look at it. White hair, the same visor.
Yeah, I'm sold, you know?
Yeah, that's 100% accurate lore.
Clearly, he was a monkey.
He was a monkey, but he evolved. Backstory writing competition. Now, this is something that maybe I'm the only human being on the earth who remembers. I remember specifically, there was a website for Super Monkey Ball that had a backstory writing competition, and now I cannot find any archive of it or anything that proved it ever existed at all. Now, what this was it was like a competition for prizes where you had to write the backstory of why the monkeys are in the balls. And it took it was open for entry, and people wrote all kinds of things. And I remember reading a few. This is a vivid core memory, guys. Like, I'm not lying. I would not lie. This existed.
Wow.
The winning entry was a poem, interestingly enough. I remember it being like very kind of poetic, like profound. Something about like the monkeys created the monkey balls out of like amber from the trees to protect their babies from predators. That was the winning backstory.
Wow.
And now you have Banana Rumble, which just says like, oh, you can use the magic ball too? Yeah, great. We're not going to mention that ever again. But that existed, and you cannot convince me it didn't.
Wow.
If anyone can find that, if anyone can corroborate my rambling, please hit me up.
Yeah, did you try writing any of these?
I didn't submit anything, unfortunately. I wish I had submitted something, because then maybe I'd be a part of Monkey Ball history.
Yeah.
Anyway, you win, you so cool. That's very familiar, but I don't know what it is. I think there's some Monkey Ball game, maybe it's Monkey Ball Jr. again, where something triggers a pop-up on the screen that just says, you win, you so cool. But I don't know what the hell it is. I'm going to Google it.
Let's see.
I don't know if I can find anything about it immediately on the internet, but I know this is a thing.
Nothing's showing up for me.
Yeah. I don't know what it is or what it's about, but believe it or not, this is in the game. Somewhere. Now here we are. We have arrived at the bottom of the iceberg, the Mariana Trench. There's some real weird stuff down here. So, what do you think about PTSD and dementia induced by Exam C? Did you buy that? I mean, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's some PTSD from my childhood. Sega Mafia connections.
That's an interesting one.
I've heard a little bit about this. I've not gone into that much detail about it, but I have heard that Sega apparently did use the underworld to get what they wanted quite a bit back in the glory days. They had some like Yakuza ties, apparently. I'm not going to be the expert here. I'm sure there's people who've researched this more than I have. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? All right, what this has to do with Monkey Ball specifically, I don't know either. Maybe like, I just wonder though, because the guy who created the Yakuza series is the same guy who created Monkey Ball. Was he a Yakuza?
Was it based off of real life stories?
Yeah, Monkey Ball might have been like made by a Yakuza.
You know, those Yakuza games are known for being very realistic.
They're very realistic. It's like
very
playing
grounded
real life.
stories.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And same with Monkey Ball, honestly. So I think it checks. Chad, the real human, trapped forever in a ball. I know the story of Chad. Have you ever heard the story of Chad?
No.
Chad was this guy, and this again was something that was on the Monkey Ball website that's now down. I'm sure this one's more documented than the backstory stuff. But there was this guy that was like posting updates, and I don't know if this was like officially sponsored or if he was just like posting on the website somehow. I don't remember the specifics, but there was a human being that put himself in a ball just because he liked Monkey Ball so much. And he just posted like his life updates about living in a ball. And he would talk about like going to swim meets and stuff, and he has to be in his ball in between his heats. And then he's like, I just really want to play some more Monkey Ball when I get back home. And I'm like, I feel you, brother. I feel you. But I mean, I don't know how long he lived in the ball. I don't know like why he was put in the ball. I don't know if his real name was Chad, or if
he just was a Chad for doing it.
I think he was a Chad for doing it regardless. But that's the story of Chad. I wish there was more I could tell you. Where is he now, honestly?
In a ball.
Still in that ball? I want We need to find Chad, guys. I mean, forget Brian Matt. That was just the first piece of the puzzle. That's like Raiders of the Lost Ark, but we're in the sequel now. And now the holy grail of Monkey Ball is Chad. Where is this man?
Do you think he can spin dash now?
He probably can. He could probably spin dash before like any of the games had that. They might have consulted him. So the unused chaotically rotating banana, as far as I'm aware, there's some kind of other banana type that is not used in the game, but it was some kind of other thing that's not a bunch and not a plain banana. And if you spawn it through like cheat codes, it's just a banana that seems to rotate chaotically. Like it doesn't just spin around in a circle. It kind of just goes all over the place. And nobody knows what it was. But I've seen footage of this banana.
Was it spinning chaotically?
Yeah. I think this was the flying microtonal banana. Here's one that we can share our thoughts about. The promotion of human slavery through the Dole brand. So have you heard of the Banana Wars?
No.
There have been real wars in human history fought solely over bananas. This is not made up. And they were bloody. They were evil. It was like a conquest in the name of bananas of many island nations and coastal colonies.
Oh no.
And Dole profited off of this for like centuries. And a lot of people have like spoken of the fact that Dole has been like removed from subsequent Monkey Ball games, and some people think that the reason why is because of this.
Yeah, that they just don't want to be representative of the Dole brand anymore.
Yeah, that could be the reason why, or who knows. Didn't they switch to Chiquita? I think some of the later ones had Chiquita stickers on them.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the new games have like any banana sponsorship, so the bananas are finally free.
As they should be. Also people.
Yeah.
People also should be free.
People also
Slavery
should,
bad.
Yeah, slavery bad. Yeah, conquest of innocent civilizations bad.
Hot take, but yeah.
Yeah. None of us want to be like the real world Dr. Bad Boon here. So, do you know that this is a very real fact too? I mean, we talked about some real facts already, but here's another. The entirety of the SMV2 story is based on a Popol Vuh apocalypse narrative.
I don't even know what that is.
Me neither, but it's true. It's in the freaking Mariana Trench, so it's got to be true. This has got to be like deep hidden knowledge.
Yeah, maybe we need to do some research into Popol Vuh.
Yeah, the Popol Vuh. Do you know anything about that?
If we're pronouncing that even right.
I don't think we're pronouncing it right. But that's what Monkey Ball is based on, people. Now you know.
I'm very curious about this apocalypse narrative then.
Yeah, does it involve bananas tasting like curry?
Or people being shrunk and put into laundry?
Yeah, I think that's all. That's like Popol Vuh stuff. Now, would you believe me as well if I told you that real monkeys were tortured for the Monkey SFX?
No.
I don't buy that either, but I do know there is a fantastic mod for Banana Mania, I think, that replaces Ai's voice with the sounds of a real monkey. Whether that monkey was tortured or not, I can't speak to that, but
We'll hope it was a happy monkey.
I'm hoping that monkey lived a happy life and continues to do so to this day. And now we come to the very bottom of the charts, the very most obscure fact about Monkey Ball that probably anyone knows, whether or not they know anything about the Popol Vuh. The Monkey Ball Mini missing level.
Now, Monkey Ball Mini itself was already so obscure, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, and that was like in the tip of the iceberg or whatever. So this is like deeper. Mm-hmm. Monkey Ball Mini had a missing level. That's all it is. No, apparently there was some like evidence that people eventually found that there was supposed to be another level in Monkey Ball Mini. I don't know if it's just the fact that like you're playing through the game and it switches from like 5 to 7 or something like that, and like they skipped one and nobody knows what it is, Or like if there was extra code found in the Flash game, and like do Flash games even have like code? Yeah, I guess they do, but nobody's data mining Flash games, y'all.
Yeah, not Monkey Ball Mini.
Not Monkey Ball Mini. Either way, there's a missing level, and I think the reason it's missing is because if you were to play that level, the Popol Vuh apocalypse would begin. Monkeys would start screeching all over the earth.
They skipped it to save all of us.
They skipped it to save us. Bananas would taste like curry if you played that level. The Yakuza would start killing.
Robotic eyes would be all over the place.
Yeah. Unused, chaotically rotating bananas would just appear around you.
Oh my god, the destruction that would cause.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. That's as deep as it goes, I think.
Wow.
The Monkey Ball Iceberg.
Man, I really knew nothing about these games, huh?
Now you know everything about these games. Now you can tell all your friends, like impress them at parties and stuff. Like, did you know that in the technology demo for Monkey Ball 2, there was like different colored tiles in the amusement park world? And your friends would probably just go, what?
So, you a fan of Popol Vuh?
Yeah.
Did you know they actually made a game based off of his apocalypse narrative?
Yeah, you know, I'm Googling that because
I need to know.
I need to know what it is. Is it a real thing, or is it something that like somebody made up? Popol Vuh. Sacred text? Popol Vuh is a text recounting the mythology and history of the K'iche' people of Guatemala, one of the Maya peoples. So this is like some 2012 apocalypse type stuff.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Popol Vuh.
Well, my homework's cut out for me.
It's also called the Popol Vuh or Pop Vuj.
Great.
Yeah. There was a band called Popol Vuh.
I think that's probably what it was based off of.
That's what it was based off of, yeah. German.
Did they write a song named Apocalypse Narrative?
Maybe they did. I'm looking for these connections now, man. I gotta know. This is what it was about. Began as an electronic music project. They developed a productive working partnership with Werner Herzog? What? They contributed scores to films such as Nosferatu? Okay, the 1979 version, not like the legitimate Nosferatu. Interesting, though. Discography? Apocalypse? Is there any apocalypse? It's all in German. So I don't know. Hosiana Mantra. The third album by German band Popol Vuh. It was originally released in 1972 on the German record label Pils. Oh my god, there's no Monkey Ball stuff in here. I don't know if we've cracked this 100%, but we gave it our best shot.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody knows what this is talking about, hit me up.
We'd love to learn more.
Now, Jack, before we go, is there any other additional Monkey Ball lore that you feel you can provide to this discussion? Anything that might have slipped our minds here?
Well, this would be a very surface level thing, yes, but URL, the stage URL.
That's true. We
known
didn't talk
for
about
having a URL in it.
Yeah.
That leads to a website that does not work.
You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. If they made a modern version of that, it'd probably be a QR code.
I would love to play a QR code level.
Has anyone made that? I would love to play that too. Like, that's probably something some custom level builder could make. Just a QR code that you can play and you scan it and it takes you to like something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's all there is to talk about. That's everything you never knew about Monkey Ball.
Thank you very much for putting up with us.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long episode. That's over an hour, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you listen to this entire thing, the things you will learn.
You can go impress your friends by talking about the Popol Vuh.
Yeah, or you can upload some footage of the freaking iToy levels. Like, can anybody give us that? Because that's actually weirding me out more than anything else on this.
And now you know Soldier 76's secret.
Yeah.
That's II Jr.
It's II Jr., believe it or not. So, folks out there in your balls, all you Chads out there, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to our yapping. And until next time, hold on to your bananas.